Since visiting LA, I can definitely tell you the weather has treated me so much better as opposed to Phoenix, where it's 200 degrees out there. But aside from that, me and the homie Rated R from the Neighborhood Collective pulled up to the Crenshaw District to go pay the folks at Project43 a visit. When we got there, we were given an opportunity to tour the center and learn about their programs, volunteer opportunities, and weekly activities that they host like Taco Tuesdays, Wildin' Out Wednesdays, and Open Mic Fridays. They also have a community garden, a podcast room, a printing room, an event space. They have a lot to offer, and they're still working hard to make sure the center is beautiful and consistent, and are always helping out those in need of building their own businesses and their own communities as well. What stood out to be the most, though, was that they offer a program where you can sign up to get locally donated foods, packaged and or fresh, and all you have to pay is $30 per month to pick up a bag of groceries every day. You hear me? That is $30 per month to pick up a bag every day. They also accept SNAP and EBT as payment options as well. And this is only the surface of what I'm sharing. To learn more about their mission and what they're about, you can find more information from my podcast, Talks with Mama Plex, on Spotify. Special thanks to the Neighborhood Collective for bringing this moment together. To learn more about Project 43's mission and how you can help, you can check out their website at project43la.org.
I had to think outside the box.
It's called Think Outside the Box?
I had to think outside the box.
Okay.
And I really didn't have money to really hire staff. So I have these young people here and older people too. They're involved in a program. So it's workforce development, and I'm through the regional center. And they're artistic adults, but they have their coaches that work with them. So they come and they run the market. They're part of my canning program. We do canning and pickling here.
Oh, okay.
I have a new composting system that'll be here in very soon, but I'll have the only composting system in the state of California, and it's going to be so state of the art that you can go on your phone and check the pH. It's a titanium steel, and so we just had the Home Depot Foundation is going to come and put my whole backyard together. I want it. So this area right here is going to be Project 43 meat. So we'll have the store, we'll have our boutique, we'll have our merchandise store. This will be our garden. So people that can go up the stairs will garden at the top. People that can't will have wheelchair accessible gardening all the way around. That's my walk-in refrigerator, and so we do narcon training. We saved 2 lives with that. We do. We also train for people to get their license. We do the safety part of it, and so when they get ready to go to the union, they already got that out of the way, so that they're able to get into the union and get contracting jobs. But we do the safety part. Next week we'll have the COVID truck, so we're involved with the different companies come in. We do mental health. I try to do that at least once a month. The mental health and just life skills. So everything that we do here goes back into food insecurity is my biggest thing. I fed over 400,000 meals on this corner. When they closed the Rouse, I made a vow there'd be food on the table every single day, or access to food every single day, and I've done that. And so the Times did a very nice article on us speaking about how we are one of the front runners in the war against hunger. So I never thought that Project 43 would be what it is today. This is not what I envisioned it for. Um, and it's kind of growing and it's revolved into not only we're no longer a teen center, we are now we went from being a teen center to a community center. Now we're a Reliance Center, and so we are official green space company, and we also are under the national registry for a natural disaster. So if we have something going on and where people need shelter or whatever, we're on the list that you can be able to come here. Because when they had that tornado, a couple of months ago, we did stay open 24 hours. People did come and get, uh, you know, supplies. And when we had that really bad cold snap, we went out into the community and asked for people to bring blankets and you know gloves and everything. At 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm out giving out mummy sleeping bags, and then I go home and cry because sometimes I feel like I'm helping, but I'm not really helping because I was not able to tell that person, okay, get off this ground and let me take you somewhere. Let me take you with me. And when I'm not able to do that, I'll tell you a story about every couple of months we do this thing. We do community bingo, and so there's a man that be across the street, and his name is Mr. Allen, and so one day we had the bingo, and I told him I want him to come over here and play bingo with me. So he came, and he was playing bingo. He was winning prizes. We made a lot of food. So when he got ready to leave, and he said, "Miss Ann, can I talk to you?" I said, "Yeah, you can talk to me." And he started to cry, and he said, "You know what?" I said, "What are you crying for, Mr. Allen?" He said, "I want to thank you so much." He said, "For 4 hours, I was not invisible." But I understood what he was talking about when he says invisible, because when we drive through these drive-throughs and we do these things, we act like we know we see them, but we act like we don't because we don't want them to say, "Hey, can you give me $1 or whatever," or buy them food. But when they over there at McDonald's, of course I'm going to spend my money on them. But I also let them know or ask them, "Do you have EBT or SNAP?" "Yeah, I do." Well, how much money you got left?" "I don't have no money left." I said, "Well, do you realize I have a program right across the street? If you come when you first get your card, because you know you're gonna fuck it off, give me your $30 the first of the month. Then you won't have to be out here doing this because you know that you could feed yourself for the whole month for $30 because I that's the first $30." And I got a young lady that's so serious about hers. She brings me her EBT card, and so she brings it like the middle of the week. I mean the middle of the month. So gets loaded on the 5th. So I take her $30, and then she'll come back a couple of days later and pick it up. But that's the first, because she said, "I don't trust myself." She gets $120, but I get that first $30, and then she comes back, and then she can make it through the rest of the month. But I make sure that she gets fed. So opening up doors and that's trust right there. I know her PIN number. That's trust that someone entrusts me with her EBT. But also, the reason why I was asking that I see my little protege over there across the street. I'm gonna tell you this story. There's a young lady over there. She'll be over there pretty soon. Kind of early right now, but I see something in her, and I'm gonna use her here, but she's not where I need her to be because she's gonna be so.
He loves you.
So the thing with her is that I'm grooming her. So this is my plan. But I gotta get her settled. So what I do for the last 3 weeks, I've been making her sit under that tree over there because I want her to be still. I don't want to bring her into what I want her to do, and every 2 minutes, because that's her life, running from back and forth. Because she hangs around at this laundromat down here. She's over here. She's over here. So she runs up and down the street. But I want her to be able to understand that I need you to sit, be still. So for the last 3 weeks, I'm training her to sit and be still. So she's been doing what I say to do for 3 weeks. I feed her everything, but for the last 3 weeks, she's been sitting under that tree. So I want her to understand that she has to be still. So this is how I'm training her. Um, you know, we, I want better for my community. I have more time in back of me than I have in front of me, as far as, and I really gravitate towards young people because I want them to understand that, whatever, my daddy always told me, whatever you put your mind to, you can do it. My grandkids are 6 and 52 and 2 and 25. That's their mentality already. See, I will tell you, my grandkids will talk to you just like they grown women, and will come here and walk through this center. Why is that there? Oh, so. Oh, I need to have a meeting with you. Can you come in here and have a meeting? When we do my 6-year-old, I do certified. Uh, I am certified to do community service. My 6-year-old does the intake. She makes the copies. She has to sit down, fill out the application. She makes their files, and she's 6. And she can give a tour of this place, you know, better than we can as an adult. And at the end of the tour, she'll say, and at Project 43, we save lives one day at a time. I never remember. Do you know who Barbara Morrison is, right? So she was 3 years old, and she did an interview with Barbara Morrison on her podcast. But we said, we're not going to tell you how old she is. We just want you to do the interview, talk to her like anybody, ask her the questions and everything, and do the interview just like a normal interview. She's 3. When she got off so when the podcast was finished, then we introduced her and told her how old she was, and she could not believe that she had just interviewed a 3-year-old child. So these are some of the things, that the skills that I want to pass on to young people, that I'm passing on to my grandkids. So, as far as like bringing them up here, making these secure programs for them to give them life skills, not be on the street running around, getting in trouble. It's very hard out here for what you said you needed, computer card? My phone cord. Oh, your phone card. The white one. Okay. But I do need a plug to plug it in because the phone is dead. Right. I'm gonna bring you an extension cord for that. So it's very important to me on how we attack what's going on in the world, and I want to continue to grow Project 43, and right now where I see Project 43 going is going to be short then amazing, because I have a amazing group behind me now. That my auntie always tells me that that my auntie always tells me, I have an auntie, she died uh, a year ago, but she always tells me, like, your dream is like everybody's dream is not your dream. But sometimes I can't understand why people can't understand that as a community we have to stick together. We get these politicians in office, and they be out what I call kissing the babies, and when they get in office, They turn into politicians. Um, and I'm not scared to challenge them. I have challenged them. They see me coming, oh shit, there go that Miss Ann. But I mean, they do give me big respect because when I do right now, every VIP event that they have, I'm always on the list. But when I'm in the audience, they'll be like, they will acknowledge. If you don't know, do you know Miss Ann? If you don't know Miss Ann, you need to get to know Miss Ann because she don't take no prisoners down there at Project 43. Um, like I said, now I got the greatest team behind me that sees that we're gonna change some lives on this corner. We're gonna, people rely on us, and we don't let people down. We're out here doing the work that we say we're gonna do, and we want to do the work that we and really embrace what's going on in the community and make it a viable place. But also funding is our biggest hurdle. My personal money in this is $100,000. My personal money, and about 50,000 hours of my lifetime being at the desk. Most of the time I lived here when I first started off because believe it or not, I was not Project 43 pre-COVID. I started this program 1 week into the COVID, one actual week into the COVID. And one night I was asleep, and this little voice came to me and said, Miss Ann, it said, COVID, and it spelled it out to me. It says COVID. It said, COVID can't outdo me. Victory is done. I said, okay, we're gonna take that ball and we're gonna run with it. And like I said, to this date, we've fed over 400,000 people. Women can come here. I had a young man came here about 3 weeks ago, and he had a 3 month old, no, 3 week old baby with a towel as a diaper. And someone told him, he said, no, he said, you don't have to do that. Just go down there and talk to Miss Ann. And I gave him about 8 packs of diapers. And I'm hoping to see him pretty soon to pick up some more diapers for this baby. But this is the things that, I want to, there's no reason why someone should be walking around with a towel for a diaper for a 3 week old baby. Yep. So I don't, and we're gonna continue to break ground, and I was very honored to get. They have a program at the Geddes Museum, and it was a nomination on 550 people got nominated. There's 100 in the book, and it's called the World Atlas. And they're going to be doing this book all over the world. They've already did Brazil, they did Louisiana, they did Detroit, and they've done Los Angeles. And so I'm under what's called my category is called Community Warrior. And so what they did with this project and this book is that they traced us back. They swabbed our mouth and they traced us back 5 generations. And then the middle part of the book, the middle part of your part, is they ask you, why did you start your program, and what's been your biggest accomplishment with the project. And then the third part of it is you take your phone and you run and scan it around across it, and you come to life, and you talk about what the future is that you see for your community. And I'm on page number 3. So the reception for this is going to be October 19th. but only the people that are in the actual book, because it's 100 of us. So we will be presented with the books and everything at the museum, but it's going to be live streamed so you can have your family and your friends involved with it, and it'll be October 19th.
What's the name of the book?
It's called the World Atlas. Human Atlas. It's called the Human Atlas.
Okay.
And it's just been it's been an uphill, downhill challenge. It's very expensive to keep these doors open. Um, it's $11,000 a month to keep these doors open. And people don't really understand that because they think that everything that Project 43 does is supposed to be free. It's not. You can when we, like a month ago, when we got in trouble, and well, we wasn't really in trouble per se, but we did get an eviction notice. And even Sketcher, they knew that they couldn't get us a check in time to do what they needed to do. But Skechers reached out to us and gave us like $10,000 worth of merchandise to sell to help us because they wanted to do something because they understand the importance of keeping the center open. Because if this center was to close, it would impact a lot of lives. It really would. And we already live in a lot of trauma as it is. So that's why we struggle. Like I said, we live off of donations, but also, um, people come here and live in the moment. And so I did an interview with the LA Times, and they asked me, if you had to describe Project 43, how would you describe it? And I described Project 43 as a funeral. And let me explain the accolades behind that. When someone dies, what does a person do? What do we do? Well, we rally around that person and we say, oh, we're gonna, we're not gonna, do this again. We're gonna make sure that we, get together, just not as a funeral. But then, okay, so the day of the funeral, what do? We go and we give accolades to the person that passed away and everything. But at the end, what do? We get back in our cars and what do? We get in our cars and we drive back to our life, our normal life. But what people have to understand is I don't need you. I don't need you before the funeral. I need to support after the funeral because I might be a single mother with 5 kids and now I need to figure out how I'm going to make it. That's when I need somebody. That's when I need people to support me and help me then. I don't need that. Like I have a program that's really dedicated to Nipsey, and it's called the Next Lap Marathon. And then we take an actual baton. I take an actual baton, and I we get it hand painted, and it says thank you for picking up the baton and running the next lap in our marathon. So every time we have an event, I always present the program and say the full lap is $25 a month. The half lap is $100 a month, and then we have a business lap half lap $10 a month, and then we have a business lap that's $100 a month. And so we
What was the $25 for?
a full lap.
Okay.
And then we have a half lap that's $10 a month. And we have a business lap that's $100 a month. So people, they come and I'm talking about the program. Oh my God, that's so dope. That's dope. As soon as I get home, I'm gonna sign up. I started this program in 20, and I only got 25 people that made the commitment to do it. Because this is going back to why the analogy of people. That's why I say that Project 43 is like a funeral because we have amazing events here, amazing. and people, oh, I'm gonna do this, and when they walk through, oh, I'm gonna support you, but as soon as the event is over and they go home, they go back to their lives, not understanding that, okay, if you want to continue to come here and reap the benefits of these amazing events as a community, we have to stick together and help keep these doors open, because these politicians are not going to do anything. Because I've sat down with the mayor's office, I've sat down with DC 8, and I've sat down with the assembly from the 55th, assemblymen, and they all tell me the same thing, that they don't have trans. They tell me they don't have discretionary funding, but you know, I don't. I don't really take that. You know, I don't. I don't take that. I take that with a grain of salt, because I feel like when I'm looking at certain things and I see certain things that go on, I'm asking myself, where, well, how did you get that funding to do that when you don't have discretionary funding? Um, and I find that what to be true is that when they say that the people that need the funding are always the people that get it, and people like us, grassroots, trying to make a difference, and know that if we are given the proper funding, that the amazing work that we can do. And we pride ourselves on, if you come here like you're here today, and you come a week from now, it's not going to look like this in a week from now, because every day there's progression. And that's another thing, is like having such a large lease is difficult, because once we pay all the bills, we might only have $200 or $100 to put into actually getting these programs, the supplies that we need to get the programs up and running. And that's what slows us down from really getting everything we need, getting it off the ground, and doing the work that we set out to do. But like, I always say this about myself. I say I do a lot of things well. I do. Miss Ann does a lot of things, but I always say that I don't do one thing well. And the reason why I say that, because for instance, that freezer right there, I wanted to get it up and running so I could service more people food wise, but it's not where it needs to be, because now I still need another. I need another air conditioner and another cold box to have it properly come down to 34 degrees, where I can keep things 3 weeks versus a week and a half. So we have to at least start somewhere to get to somewhere. So it's like, someone gave me this poster. If you saw it when we walk into, it's a Nipsey poster, says, you build it a brick at a time, and one day you turn around, you'll see a brick wall. That's the same thing with this right here. If you see this right here, this brick wall, I built that with my own two hands. And the thing was, that was what it was called, taking the block back brick by brick. And so it was called taking the block back brick by brick, and I built that. And so I don't know if you guys know. Do you know who Chime Online Bank is?
Yeah.
Online Bank. Every year they have this contest. It's called Chime In for a Change Maker. So 2 years ago, they had, they do it, and then so somebody had nominated me for this, right? But I saw, so I go in there and I see, I mean, people was writing novels, making these damn videos, and all these Greek people, they're like in New York and San Francisco and all of this, and I was like, I'll never win this. These people are doing damn documentaries. The person that nominated me, she had me with a jackhammer, holding a jackhammer, and the caption said, "Miss Ann, uh, not only does she walk the walk, but she talks the talk for the Crenshaw District. We love Miss Ann." With a jackhammer, with with these flip flops on my feet, with glasses on top of my head, looking crazy. So I get this email, how you get that, and I said, "Oh, this is so fake." So I get this email that says, "Oh, congratulations, potential winner." And you know what? For some reason, I normally just send something like that to the trash, right? Well, I said this particular that's oh no, let me dive into it to see what it's saying. So it said potential winner, and so I said, So then it said, so then when I went and read it further, I had won the $10,000. But the reason why they say potential winner because you only had 3 days to get your paperwork in, which was the W-9 and some 2 other forms, and you had to get it in by a certain day at a certain time, or the next runner up was gonna get it. Well, you should have seen me like, ah! Right. But I was like, it's no way that I won that, with people. I mean, I'm telling you, people was doing full on documentaries on these people. But those are some of the accolades, and I appreciate that. I don't even and that one I don't even know who nominated me for that one, but it. I'm very grateful that people see the work that we're doing down here and are really embracing what Project 43 has to offer. Because I actually have one of our senior um, and I have a meeting with her tomorrow actually. But I have a senior, and so here go another program. But she was talking about that she wants to start like a senior club, like here in this area right here. So she wants to set up like coffee and donuts and everything where they could just come and talk. Like she said, she's in her late 70s and all her friends have really died off. And so she said she's lonely. And she said so she knows that if she's in that situation, that she want to bring other seniors together. And if they at least meet once a week in this setting, that it would help them. And I do agree with that. I'm 64 years old. I can't necessarily say that I'm lonely because I have my community family, but I can still identify with someone, living in a world that had a lot of friends and all of that. And I look at, my family is dying out. I have one uncle left that when he dies, I won't have anybody no brothers and sisters left on my father's side, gone. And this was another reason why my daughter, I asked my daughter to actually let my let me give my grandson my last name just to keep the family line going because had she did that, the Cooper name was dead because there's nobody else. But we're gonna keep making big strides, you know, with my team, and you know, they were a godsend. I mean, I've been through some transition with different people, but you know, uh, when certain people come in, you just got to be careful about how you attack the situation. Even though I want to give everybody a chance, everybody don't do things the proper way because I do know that I am a novelty, and I'm a novelty because of the fact that here's a 64-year-old woman that opened up this center in the middle of a pandemic, and our doors are still open. But instead of people coming to me and say, "Hey, I want to pick your brain," They come to me already like, oh, I do this and I'm gonna do that and I'm doing, and then as soon as I circle back, there's nothing there, and they was like, oh, I just wanted to talk to you and see how you did it. But tell me that. I'm not gonna turn nobody away, if you're telling me the truth. But don't just come waste my time, and you don't, and you haven't even, figured out what you're trying to do, but you telling me you're doing it. No, but we're gonna, take things one day at a time and continue to grow and prosper. You know, I know that it's pretty hard. Like, just try to get people to even promote us, because I know everybody, they need their money and stuff. But our biggest help here is like we need help really like promoting Project 43 and getting it out here, because we have people that pass here every day and might just see somebody and say, "Oh, I pass every day and doesn't know what they were." So, but my thing is that even on Instagram, they shadow ban me. I'm gonna tell you why.
Because you was too real for them.
No, I know it's true. Okay, do you know how Instagram really works as far as how they really make their money?
How?
Whoever gives them the most traction, the most attention.
Exactly. So this is why I get shadow banned, because my monthly impressions used to be 50,000 monthly, but I've been screened to get a blue check, which I don't care now because they finna do it as a advertisement.
Subscription.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when I got pre-screened for the advertisement to get the blue check, they was like, everything checks out. Like they'll ask you, the news that send things you've been in the news. How many blue checks follow you who really, because 2 Chainz, he's always on my page. Keep up the good work. It ain't him, of course I know it's his people, but they're always, So that was one of those ones that I could send. I had blogs about where I was in the paper and everything. So they said, okay, everything checks out. Now you have to do is get your 10,000 followers. So this is the way that it works. It's like taking like a shark tank, right? And the shark tank has to swim in a circular motion, right? So we're all like, everybody's in this shark tank and we're just circling and circling and circling. But as we circle and people are seeing our contents, then they were like, oh, okay. Then there's a spotlight. Oh, people really like, the algorithm is pulled to that. But see, Instagram can't make any money off of, because they have a contract with someone. Once they get a 10,000 follower, then it's like, then that's when they start making the money. So in order to like slow you down, they've shadow banned you. So it's like cut like I get things like, you're banned in Brazil. But I'm like, okay, I don't care about Brazil, but that's because that I had at one time I had a lot of people that was following me in Brazil, and my algorithms was pulling to that. So now they had to cut that off, because okay, these people are really following her, but we're not making money. So what happens once you get to 10,000 viewers, then what, like they open up the door and then you're out into the full water. So now that's when they start making money off your contents and all of that. And so the algorithm itself will actually start pushing your contents back to your page. Then you might look it up and see, damn, like my impressions now is 100,000 a month, because now they're saying, okay, this person is in the community or in a surrounding. So now we can start sending people to her, and the more sins that we get and the higher her algorithms get, the more money we make. So that's why you shadow ban on that. So it's a lot of different ways to get shadow banned. But for me, my I was shadow banned because of how people follow me or watch me. Because if you don't know this, or like, you might see that you have 7,000 followers, but you really don't. You probably have like 50,000 followers because there's people that see your contents that are not followers, and it's like they're there but they're not there. So that's how you get your impressions, because they can see you, but you got to go into your back door and look at it and see that, okay, this many people. It'll tell you this is the contents, this is the not the contents, but then it's like another part of the back door and say these are outside people that can see your page, but you the only one who know. Nobody else will know that they can see your page.
Mm.
So you have 7,000 followers, but you really probably have 50,000 followers. So you have like what they call like ghost followers. I do my homework.
You know more than me. I'm like taking notes from you.
Huh?
I heard about the ghost follow. I thought the ghost follow was like more as like paid follow.
Yeah, I thought so too.
It's people who see your contents. Just view it. And then, okay, like I'm on Instagram and I'm just swiping. Every time I touch that page, that's what I'm talking about. That's an interaction. Even though I didn't physically stop on that page was viewed, like it was seen. So when I say ghost followers, that's how they get contents, because I'm touching that page. I'm swipe. Okay, it's called swipe views. I'm getting swipe views. But you know, the algorithm, if you really look at the algorithm, it's right on time. Because if you start looking for something, look for something one time, then you start seeing all the things that you get is about something you just looked at. Like me and Sihan has been looking for kitchen stuff. Now every damn other video is about cooking, or about kicking some fries or pickling, or
that's all you're gonna see.
That's all you're gonna see now. And it's like it's subliminally putting in your face, like, did you get it yet? Did you get it yet?
Mm-hmm.
Did you get it yet? That's the way it is. But you know, we so it's ways to really utilize these things. And that's basically what we need to really like get out there and let people know, because like, you know, people pass here all the time. And that's why somebody made a suggestion to me like last week. They was like that they think that I should paint the building like the yellow, like my logo yellow, and do the black trim. And then when we do the Project 43 meet, I already got an artist, but he's gonna do the whole side of the building. And so he's gonna be like doing the pictures of like the people going to the market, people, you know, with the thing. So it'll be like a mirror about what's going on in this area. But this area, so this area is slated to be up and running in 8 weeks.
Also, she's an artist herself.
I see. I'm so impressed. Like, she's made a whole, what do you call this thing? I know what it's called. Huh? No, but I'm saying what she's doing, it has a name for it.
Oh, scribing?
Yeah.
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 Because I feel people are more visual learners, and when you describe these things, I'm like, okay, let me like put together a picture real quick before she go to the next topic, because it's like some really good points that you've been hitting left and right. So I'm like just capturing every moment. So
yeah. So yeah. And then also, you know, our brand here is very important to us. You know, I don't go on my Instagram being messy about stuff. You know, it's the real. The only thing that, you know, like as a nonprofit, I never would have believed in a million years how political this thing is. Nonprofit is getting down dirty politics. There's a lot of politics in being a nonprofit. But then they always tell you to stay away from politics. But how can you do it when the whole system shit is ran as politics?
it's in your face.
It's in your face all day. You know, it's I don't understand. I know like we can't openly, you know, endorse, like, you know, endorse, so like I can't go and openly endorse you know, the president running for president. I can't just say I can have events here where they can fundraise here, but I can't stand up and say, "Hey, Project 43 is openly endorsing, you know, politics."
So what are the list of things that you can do or the list of things you can't do? Like, I guess which list is, what are the list of things you can't do?
On the politics side?
On the nonprofit side, you said you can't openly endorse the president, things like that, right?
Yeah, or somebody is running for office.
Okay.
You can't openly endorse them uh, as a nonprofit. During we really we can't take funds from out of their campaign money. It has to come from like the discretionary part of it. Now, what we can do if somebody wants to have a fundraising event here, we can allow them to use the facility. So
Okay.
yeah, and we've done that because you know they're trying to you know what's their name? Alima and the Colwell. They're running for third party, trying to get that third party. They had a fundraiser here.
So what type of events do you host here? What type of events do you host here?
All kinds. We've had we've turned the patio into a soft play where we had the whole thing was like a little carnival, but all the things and the balls and all of that. Every year we turn it into a haunted house. Uh, we do repasses. People have repasses here. A couple of months ago, we had a circus. These people were from Atlanta, and they turned this whole place into a circus, which was amazing because they had the fire breathers, like the guy.
Oh, y'all went all out like that.
Oh, it was on, but they came from Atlanta. But look, I never been so impressed in my life. This woman had this thing on her butt, and it was spinning, and then she
tail?
set it on fire, and it on her butt.
Does she have a tail?
It was like that was like a like this brag thing, but she could make it spin, and it was like on fire. And I was like, it was spinning on her butt, and then they had like they had like the woman with the pole, like doing the pole and the stretching and doing all of that, not dancing. She was like it was pole art or whatever, and then they had like body painters. They did the body painters, and then they had like artists that was like capturing. Like when you go to the wedding and they do the paintings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they had an artist that was capturing rather than taking pictures. She was fast. She must have did like 15 like full paintings of the whole event that went on through that night. By the time the night was ended, she had them lined up all on the back wall.
Okay, so question: do you cater to the adults too, or is it mainly like the children?
No, everybody. It's a reliance center. So, but now, what now we're moving into. I want to get back to closer to what I envisioned it at first, like being more for the teens. So I want to kind of get back closer to that. So, should I talk about that? The teens, them coming to live it. So should we talk about that?
I wouldn't mind.
Huh?
Can we talk about that because that is part of our program here going forward?
Yeah. So moving forward, what we want to do is, as you saw that middle room that's gutted out right now. So what we're looking to do is house 6 youth, our homeless youth, and run them through a program here, which would teach them, life skills and all of that. So we're saying like we want to house them for 6 to 8 months, or 6 months to a year, and then give them, the structure, keep them off the street. I was very saddened today, and this breaks my heart because this is a young man that, and I'm trying to get his mama right now. I have not been able to reach his mama, but this is what I'm talking about, and this is another reason why I want to do this, because this is someone I've been knowing for many years, and I understand her fight. This is my friend's, that's her son. See what it say? 3 years still in Cali later. Now your ass just got a job. She just got you a job. She done did everything she can. She had you in Job Corps, but you get kicked out of Job Corps because you vaping. Now look at this. Now he out here still in catalytic converters. He's finna do some big time.
What can get worse than that? Like, he just went from one extreme to another.
Yeah, this just happened Monday. They was arrested Monday.
This is the kid you're talking about?
Uh-huh. No, well, that's what I'm saying. This is why. If I had him, like, he could have been a part of my program. This wouldn't happen. Yeah. Because he would have been in a structured thing. Because, see, that's what I said. Please tell me this is not your son. Yes, it is.
Oh, no.
And I told her, please call me, Oh, so this is what I'm talking about. Something so simple, but then I also know this mother personally, and she's not a bad mother. She's an excellent mother, just with a misguided kid that don't understand. Like, well, he ain't no kid; he's only 20 years old. But they don't want to listen until they get in trouble. So now he gonna be on the phone every day. Oh, mama, can you see me a package? Oh, like this, But if and he worked here. He volunteered. She sits on my board. She's my secretary. And but this is what I'm talking about. Things like this. So that's why I want to embrace and give them more something to do. Rather be like, I did have a Floyd Mayweather. One of his trainers came here, and he was talking about bringing in like a temporary boxing thing where they could pick it up and take it with them. And I think I want to we'll circle that again and have him come here and do something like that.
If your focus is more to get the youth more, I guess, like more involved, I would just say, keep adding more different creative programs, like more things that's like that triggers the creative thought in their minds, like be more active versus.
Yeah, and then I have a young lady that's gonna come. She's gonna start teaching art classes and things like that. So we got a lot of things that are in play that we want to start addressing. But going back again, it takes, and that's another thing that these people, it's so difficult to make people understand. Like the granting situation is like you say, they don't want to give you the money to start the program. They want you to have the program up and running, and then they want to fund it. But I can understand because it's changed, because there's a lot of people that always say they're going to do something and they don't. They get the money and they don't do what they're supposed to do. So I understand that, some people that don't do what they supposed to do make it harder for people that really need the money, got a game plan and can really write it down and really implement it, and we can't get the funding. The mayor, they know what I'm doing here. They know what I'm doing. Marquise knows what I'm doing down here. And, and they do give us our accolades and say, okay, we're going to try. I mean, there's little things that they do. Like, every time I close down the street, they do pay for stuff like that. But I'm saying that if someone was to come right now and I say, well, how much money would it take you to get this place to where you want and get the things that you want to do right now? Then I would say that I'm looking for $200,000 just to finish everything, like get all of this blacktopped and just finish, and then just let's hit the ground running. And that's another reason why that when we went through what we went through, last month, is another reason why that I'm really quiet now on the Instagram, because it's gonna be called Project 43 Pop Out. When we pop out, it's gonna be a whole new place. Then we get to then we'll have all the pictures showing this is where it came from, and this is where we at now. And then that's another thing that we're catapult, because all of this will be done. We'll have in our smoothie store. We'll have everything in, because that's how we deal with the food. It's like when the food comes in, we separate it. This is what we're gonna use for canning. This is what we do fresh, fresh smoothies. Last week or week before last, I did avocado and mango smoothies.
That sounds refreshing.
It was really good. So today, what I'll be doing is I bought some of those pouches, and so I'm going to be making up smoothie pouches and freezing them. So we'll be ready for Sunday. We're going to sell them on Sunday, but they all be from the food coming in fresh. Somebody rented. What's the 5th? Because I know it's in the middle of the week. Yeah, they're going to be doing a sipping thing. I've done them. I do bingo, sipping paint, you know, uh, different things. But so now we just put together like a conducive schedule, which I should have had the banner already out and hanging. So on Monday nights, it's going to be, what is it, Poetry Mondays. Last night we kicked off our Taco Tuesday and karaoke. Got kicked off last night. And then we're going to do Wildin' Out Wednesday. And Wildin' Out Wednesday is more like playing old school music, like taking it back to, like, y'all too young probably know, but Cooley High,
Yeah.
like that genre, because I actually have somewhere in here where I have a actual record player, records. So we're gonna just like play like just the record player, because I have one that works on Bluetooth. It's in there somewhere. And then on Thursday night is Thursday Night Vibe. So we want to bring in like a live jazz band. And then on Friday nights, it's going to be open mic. So today we're gonna we're today we're gonna be working on the banner and get it up and running on the wall and start doing things and get that ready.
Is there a set schedule that you have? Like if someone wants to host an event, is there a certain time frame of, like, I guess, how long would it take to market it? Like 2 weeks on average, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best event that I ever had here is that we've done 3 movies here, and so I did. It's called. It's coming out in September. Matter of fact, I got to look for it. It's going to be on Netflix, and it's called Crazy Love. And so they used the patio for the reception. Man, it was so pretty in there. I was like, can you just leave it out? Like, really, like, it was beautiful. And then they did another one, and that's gonna be on Freezer. It's gonna be on Tubi and Netflix, but it's called Our Town. And I'm hoping there's a scene in there where somebody was banging on the door, and the girl was calling 911, and then the person said, "Oh, where you at, ma'am?" Said, so she gave some other address, but then the producer says, "Cut." And I say, "I'm at 6841 Crenshaw Boulevard. I'm at Project." I'm hoping they leave that in there in that scene. And then the third movie that I've done here is with uh, Lauren. Wilson, who Mr. Ogilvy on the Parkers, the show. It was the Parker
Meet the
Parkers,
Parkers, that one.
and he was the teacher that she always chased around.
Yeah.
Mr. Ogilvy, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So his name is Dorian Wilson. So he's filmed here, but he's also filmed at my house, and it's the new show that he's coming out with, and it's gonna air I think in December. It's called Cocaine Girls. So he's done two filmings here and one at my house, and then I think that in November he's supposed to do two more. I think he's gonna do one more at my house and one more here.
I know you recorded the answer to this question. Due to them using your property for sets, you do get like royalties.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They paid all of these paid very handsomely. And matter of fact, when when Dorian, when he filmed at my house, so they took like the neighbor's garage across the street was totally empty, so they set it up her garage as like where they had food. When I say they catered breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and in between dinner and everything, and then I was laughing because I was like, y'all kind of cheap. Y'all only got sodas and water. I said, where the wine at? Where the liquor? So they said, Miss Ann, what you want? I was like, I need you to go get me some Stella Rose. So they was like, oh, go get her whatever she wants. So then they wouldn't bought the wine and stuff just for me. I was like, look, if I gotta leave out, I have to leave out my house at 6:00 in the morning, and they rented my house from 6 to 6. I said, if I gotta sit out here in this garage all night long, y'all better have me some wine.
That's cool though. That's cool. And the royalties for sure, depending on like the film and how they market it. That could go a long way, especially if you're not in it or showing face and just using your property. That could go a long way.
Yeah, they did, and it was nice. It was a good event, and like I said, I have a good team behind me, and I just need to get some good money.
I hear that. So you said that this place is licensed to have like volunteer work, right? Now, is this?
Well, no, court appointed. If you ever like, I have a relationship with a judge,
Okay.
and she sends her people actually here. She will assign them here.
Oh, so it's not like you could advertise like opportunities.
Oh yeah, kid.
Yeah, for high schoolers to get their
Oh,
hours.
they do
up.
it. They do it. I do Mount St. Mary's
Okay.
over here in Inglewood. So every year when they graduate, they got to do 30 hours.
Yeah.
So the kids do come down here.
Okay, so is it marketed like all across like the Crenshaw Inglewood school districts, or is it a specific select few schools?
No, it's just like they know about it. And they,
If you know, you know.
Yeah, but I can market that if they need the 30 hours. But yeah, the kids come here and do their 30 hours.
So you said definitely need to spread the word out about Project 43, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what else?
And just I want more people to come in and volunteer.
Okay.
And really get to know the center intimately, and then when we get through with this, because like, the garden, so it'll be like more like the garden club, like people can come and just like come and twiddle like for that. You know how they have the Compton gardens where people rent like little plots and they go and grow it? This is the same concept, but ours has to be above ground. And the reason being is I had to soil test it, and the arsenic level is too high for sensitive plants, more sensitive plants. So that's why we have to do everything above ground. Because when I had it tested, the arsenic level was off the chart because this area used to be more industrial area. That's another reason why when they opened up that this kitchen down here, the ghost kitchen, like they had to dig out the dirt 12 feet into the no, like 40, 50 feet. Like no, it was just a big, huge gaping hole. And they had to treat the dirt and they had to leave it open for 6 months. And then they bought in the tanks, the grease traps and all of that, put it in. But when they opened up the ground, whatever they was treating it with, they had to leave the hole open for 6 months.
I've never heard of something like that.
Oh yeah, that thing was huge. That hole was so huge, and then they came and they was spraying. Like you see them like every like couple of days, they came with a truck and then they were spraying the hole that they had dug, and I guess they probably did some like testing on it, and then after like I guess about 6 months, then they actually put in the tanks, the grease traps, and all of that, and then they closed it up because this was industrial. Because even when we did put in the new bathroom, they had it in the floor, but it was capped off like these big metal pipes, and they were capped off, and that's from the industrial part. Yeah, but we're excited. Oh, we ain't going nowhere.
Seriously.
I mean, like I said, we're embarking on a lot of new things, and there's always going to be some every day. You know, people think that I'm just looking at Instagram, just looking at it, but I shop a lot of like I make a lot of my contacts on Instagram, and a lot of these big companies, like that's how Warner Brothers found me, and they sent me 10 pallets of stuff for Christmas for my
Mm.
Christmas party last year. So a lot of people see our Instagram presence as far as like bigger companies. Not saying that we don't have a following, but we, for whatever reason, we've been blessed that more bigger companies have put their eyes on, and philanthropists, a lot of philanthropists. Because last year we got over $450,000 worth of in-kind donations. So I'm like, I am $1 million corporation, but that's what in kind. I wish it was money, but that's what in kind. And matter of fact, I missed a grant like that. I had this grant. I would have got 75,000. That's how I found out about in kind donation. So I had this grant, and I would have gotten $75,000, but I only end up getting 35,000 because when they asked me how much did you get in kind donations, I was like, what are you talking about? I don't even know what an in kind donation is.
How do you spell that?
In kind, IN-KIND kind dash donation.
Gotcha.
And so when I found that out, that's why like even our food, everything comes in has to be logged in, and then I made a formula up. So say if we got apples, so we say, okay, the apples are $2.50 a pound. So I wrote a formula that every time you just go in, you just keep adding to the poundage, then it totals it, then it gives a grand total. And anytime we get shoes and stuff, and so how you get the value of stuff like what you can do is you can go to Salvation Army, and they have in their website what the value is. Somebody give you a shirt, or somebody give you pants or refrigerator and all of that. They'll tell you what the value is, and it's on their website. And so that's what we were doing. So that's how I know. But had I known that, then when I did this grant, I would have got $75,000. But you got 35, something better than nothing.
Hey.
But I understand, it's still like a learning curve because I do go to a lot of different, like, seminars and all of that stuff, and understand like some marketing things, also how to, things that you should know as an executive director, and then some things about how to, fundraise. But a lot of stuff that you get is mostly game, because it's like this. I always say, the game is to be sold, not told. And that's what you get a lot when you meet somebody. Oh, you know, my like, oh, you'll get these ads like, oh, my nonprofit, raised $250,000 last year. But when you get in there and they talk about, oh, it's this free seminar and blah blah blah. But the problem is that in the beginning, what they do, take all your information, and
Your
then you get that,
email.
and then when you get down to the end, oh, guess what? You got to pay $250 to do the course, but at that time they got all your information, and then your mailbox is flooded every day. So you got to try to weed through that kind of thing. But you know, we're gonna be all right over here. I mean, I have the faith of a mustard seed, and every time I think I'm just there, like, oh my God. And then he said, like what he said, might not when you come when you want it, but it's always on time. And one thing, in closing this, you know, you should never forget your why. Why am I doing this? Never forget your why. And I don't want accolades for what I do. I don't. I'm not a per se Instagram hound because every time I do something, I have pictures that people don't see on the Instagram. Because it's not that every little thing does not validate me. I was validated the day that I was born, and the doctor slapped me on my ass and said, "Merlin saying Cooper, you're in this world." That's my validation. But if I have to leave this world tomorrow, then I do want my daughters to put on my headstone that at least she tried. I want that on my headstone. At least she tried. And I've already told them that. I wrote my headstone already. And this is what I wanted to say. At least she tried. Can't do nothing but try. You know, I've even had, some people that have come to me and basically told me, oh, you really need to be careful now because, Project 43 is getting to where it is, and
Ain't it supposed to be though?
no, but they say for my own personal safety,
Why?
and because like you say, a lot of people don't celebrate your success. There's like people that see things that you're doing might not necessarily understand what you do. I'm gonna tell you, I'll give you a good example. I have a friend that's like a sister. Like we actually call my kids call each other auntie. She was my friend for 35 years. I lost her over Project 43 over a phone number. Over a phone number. She opened up a transitional house in Palmdale, right? And so then I said to her, I said, "Oh, I like that." I said, when I get to Project 43, that's going to be like our second phase in Project 43. I said, I want to get into transitional house. I said, why don't you give me the phone number so I can start seeing, like, when I get ready for that, how, what do I need to do or who do I need to talk to? She said, okay, I'm going to call you tomorrow. That was 3 years ago. She never picked up the phone again.
Wow. Your closest.
But but we still in the same circle of like our same 8 friends. But I told them, don't ever tell her that y'all know why she really stopped calling me. So when they ask her, oh, have you talked to you girl? You know how busy Ann is. She busy with that Project 43, but she doesn't want them to know that she literally stopped calling me because she didn't want to give me a phone number. And I know that to be facts because it was the very next day that she was supposed to call me, and that's been 3 years.
It be your own. Yikes.
And people, and believe it or not, people change. People that I know that treat me a certain way, they don't treat me the same.
Especially when you're doing better.
They don't treat me the same. Like people that I've worked with, like I can go right down there right now to the Lamert, and they'll be, oh yeah, yeah. Oh, you think you just down there doing the damn thing or whatever, but or blatantly sit up there and lie in my face. But then also See all them boxes and all that stuff stacked over there?
Yeah.
Nobody get blessed like that but me. But guess what? As soon as they need an event, ring, Miss Ann, what you got? And then they won't even give you the satisfaction to say, hey, I want to thank Project 43 for the donation.
They don't even thank you.
They won't even thank you or just put it like they'll map out everything and won't even say, thank Project 43. Won't even thank you. But they know they didn't get it. I just got 4 pallets of vitamins. And I'm sitting up here. First of all, I made a video. Anybody having an event? Come get these vitamins. Like, well, my good people, yeah, they do. But the other ones that's just like takers, they don't. But they come and pick them up. Or I just get and put them in my car and go deliver them. Because that's what I do. I'll be like, oh shit, they have an event Saturday. Let me call so-and-so. Get rid of these things, That's what I do. I get blessed. I don't take that stuff home. If I took everything home I got donated, I wouldn't have a home. I'd be classified as a hoarder.
He's like, I'm trying to push it all out. Who
Oh,
knows?
no. I want it out. Get it back out there. And we've been blessed. We've been blessed because people don't give it to me because they know this going to get back out there. They don't have to worry about that. We've been blessed. And that's another reason why that we get so much stuff, especially like the food, That's why I increased my insurance. I insure my food. So when I'm passing out food that I might not necessarily have picked up, I want to make sure that I'm covered just in case somebody give me something and we got problems, and my insurance will cover it.
Like, give an example. Like, when would you need it for something like that? Like, if someone takes food, if someone gets sick, like, okay.
It's insured.
Gotcha.
Yes, it's insured. And so I'm also insured. Like if I go out to an event, I'm insured. And then I just made it standard with my insurance that when I close up the street every year, now I don't have to like stress out because I need to get that 1-day binder, and they always wait until the last minute. And I'm all stressed out. They go, we're gonna cancel your event if you don't have this. We don't have a copy of your insurance. So now I just add it. Just I pay for it all year, so I don't have to do that. I just be like, okay, just go call them, close the street down. We just did Father's Day. Oh, it was off the cook. We did a Father's Day barbecue cook-off contest. So we had like outside, we had like all the contestants on that side of the street. We had a stage across here, and then we had all the vendors down here. And then in the middle of the street, then I rented a tent with chairs and tables so everybody could sit down and eat or whatever. And then I had like the arcade for the kids down on this end. But for the adults, we had dominoes and bid whiz and all of that. We took the big TV. They was playing video games, and it was just a bomb day.
Sounds like a day to remember.
Yeah. And then so this year I'll be my 4th year shutting down for Christmas. I don't even advertise that one. I'll have over 2,000 people. Because they know that every year is December 16th. I keep it that 3rd Saturday of every month. So they know that on the 3rd Saturday of December it's shut down. Yeah, matter of fact, as I'm sitting here speaking, it's almost time for me to put my application in.
So is that the next event coming up? Is the Christmas event?
Oh no, we'll do Thanksgiving, and then we'll do Thanksgiving. What is it? Give Day. What you do the day after Thanksgiving?
Black Friday. That's what literally comes after Thanksgiving, unless it's something else.
No, it's Thanksgiving, and then it's something the day after Thanksgiving. Whatever the name. We'll do that.
They'll come back.
We'll be doing that. But Thanksgiving, I don't really give out food. I cook, and then people just come into to like our unhoused community. They know to come and get dinner, or people that just don't have, family to come and eat. Then I just put my foot in it. I normally get about 25 turkeys from DC8, and then I just cook them up and just have Thanksgiving dinner on Thanksgiving.
Nothing for Halloween coming up?
Oh, Halloween, I normally go in with we do it together, and we turn that we do it for 3 days. We turn the patio into a haunted house. So we take that big heavy black paper. We make like little trails that go through. Last year I was scared.
You made it. How you scared of it?
Oh Lord, let me tell you. So I had my granddaughter, like he got me, and I'm all on the video. I'm cussing. so when we had set up the pose and you going through, right? So I'm dragging my granddaughter, and I'm like, I'm going like this. Come on, girl, shit, come on, let's go through here, walking. And then when I turned around, and the guy from Scream, so it was like one guy, he was like really really tall, right? So he had Scream, and then it's like really dark, and he was just standing there, like motionless. And then when I turned around, and there he was, I'm like, oh shit! And I'm supposed to be calm, and then I'm freaking my granddaughter out because he was just standing there like, and then like it was just wild, like it was just so much fun, but it was just like, oh shit! Like, I'm all like, oh my god, I'm over here just cussing in the thing. So yeah, we'll probably do that again. And that event was cool too because we brought out the Bucking Bronco. So we had that. And then we had we had free tacos or we did tacos and hot dogs. And then we had like little things and then we had like little carnival games that they could play. And then again we had so what we did, we took a shelf and we did like 10 tickets, 5 tickets or whatever. So they could turn in their tickets and they got prizes. That was for Halloween. And we did it for Christmas too. That goes over very well with the kids. Like being able to play the games and get the tickets.
So when it comes to organizing events, and if someone wants to be a part, who are they able to contact?
Whoever well, they can contact myself, but most of the time it's our like different departments that, like, for instance, like the gardening department, you would contact Miss C because like she has a crocheting class, she has uh, chess. She teaches chess, and her teacher is 81 years old. And sometimes I think, man, he's a little tough. And I'd be like, oh, God damn, but he's been like teaching chess for like a million years. But he teaches them young because like last time, I had my grandkids in there. They're like my 5-year-old, and she was, she does the chess class. So then we do seed swap, and we do teaching the composting, the proper way to compost, because for whatever reason everybody thinks that you can put everything in a mama in the composter. You cannot because it'll be off pH and it'll be stinking like hell and you'll have maggots. But they think, oh, I can put meat in there, I can put bones, I can put this and put that. They just like just rake their whole plate in it. No, there's a proper way to compost. So we teach that.
So it's a specific person for each department, right?
Yeah.
And
so they might be the one that's hosting it. Like basically for Christmas, like I am it. Yep, I'm dressed like Santa. I got my big white chair and I pass out the gifts, and I'm gonna tell you why. That in the gift, when it comes to the gift department, I don't even let nobody help me, and I'll tell you why. I go back on a lot of things that happened to me in my life when I was young or whatever. It's things that I can remember going back as a kid that I didn't like. So I'm a family of 5, right? And so I was always like the oldest. So when we used to go to these Christmas giveaways, here I am 15 years old and they shoving a teddy bear in my arms and I be out of there leaving because that's not age appropriate. I don't want a teddy bear. I wanted something that's for a 15-year-old. So what happens is that when we get the food in, I take the boxes and I wrap them. And then I have like the age, 15, 12, 9, 10 or whatever. So when I put my order in with Mattel, I have a contract with Mattel, then what I'll do is I'll say, hey, I need 30, 30 things for a girl 10 years old, or 40 things for a boy 13. So then what I do is then I'll take them and I put the box and I'll put every age appropriate. So then what I have the kids do is I have them register with Eventbrite. And then Eventbrite allows me to do a report by age. So then I know that it gives me the reports and I'll go and I fill my boxes. So when the kids come through, they check in at the table and I give them the wristband. So when they come through here, then they know they just go to that box and get a gift. And every kid walks out of there with a smile on his face. But people are like, oh, can I help you? I'm like, no, because you might get tired and you just like, oh, let me just get done. And then you got a 2-year-old gift for the 15-year-old thing. No, I don't even take that chance because I don't want no kid to walk away. Last year, ending the event was this little kid warmed my heart so much. They came to me and they kept running. Miss Ann, oh, Miss Ann, we got an emergency. We got an emergency. My heart is beating fast. Like, oh my God. Oh, I'm insured. Like, I'm insured. So I get there and I hear all this crying and all this baby just crying, crying, crying. So they was trying to force her to take these gifts. And she said, no, no, no. I only want them from Santa Miss Ann. So the little girl, when I walks in the room, she hit me so hard and she almost knocked me over. Santa Miss Ann, Santa Miss Ann. She knows me, but she's calling me Santa Miss Ann. And she says, I'm only gonna take my gifts from you. I gave that little baby so many gifts and she almost toppled over like this. That was the end of the day. That's the kind of thing that this is a little she 4 and she want only Santa Miss Ann and they was trying to force her to take them gifts. She was crying, I don't want them. You gotta find Santa Miss Ann. They found me. But it's things like that. And then when I go back and I look at damn, these contractors really try to talk me out of this. And it's now so many great stories coming out of here, you know, so many people's lives that we touched and, so many lives that we're going to continue to touch, and it just warms my heart. We're doing some great things over here. And it's not even so much about the money, but I do want this to be a multi-million-dollar corporation where it's a blueprint for either we go out and reproduce what we created here, or someone to come in and put it in somewhere else. That I have been reached out by T.J. Jakes about what I see for this, and because his daughter actually follows us, and he was like, what how do I see what the end results of Project 43 is, and what programs and what accolades. So I have been in contact with his camp. Yeah, but I was like, then I want to circle back with like, okay, now that you know that, send me some money. Yeah. Well, see, the thing is that this is like a tricky situation because, for instance, I deal with and I don't know if they're black or white or whatever, but it's a philanthropy family, and they call it Brown. Now, how I'm building a relationship with them is like the composting system that I'm talking about that's built, and I just haven't got it delivered because when you put it here, it got to stay there. So I kind of you know figure out where it's going to exactly put because when they install it, that's it. So that's why it's still where it is. But this Brown family, they paid for it. And then, we sent the pictures of it and said, this is thank you and blah, blah, blah. And then, so then they'll just like, just contact you out. Hey, you got another project we could pay for? They did the trailer. I built that, and I built this. They sent me $12,000. So it's kind of like you create these relationships, but if they see you really doing it, they will come back. Like I say, I don't know if they black or white, but I do know that they are a family philanthropist group. I do know that. And Amy, and taking her name, I would think white. Amy is she's the contact person, but she always contact. Oh, you got a new project? So and that's how. So it's basically, it's once creative, and that's why it's always important when people give you anything to show what you did for it, and then and thank them. So later on, if something come up and they need to spend some money, oh, I remember Project43 didn't just take our money and be like, oh well, we got the money now. They made us feel good by actually showing what they did. Because like when I did all of this, they were so excited. They wrote me the letter like, "Oh my God, we love it." But we'll be back in contact real soon. So yeah, you just create relationships. But one day, I always look at it like, how when you start a fire and then it smolders, and then all of a sudden it say, poof, and the fire takes off. That's what we doing right now. We smolder it, and then one day we just gonna get that $1 million poof. Somebody gonna give us $1 million. I feel it in my mouth, and I speak it every day. Okay, come on, $1 million. But we want to get that. We're gonna want to get that poof, and then just take off.
Right around the corner.
Yeah, and that's why I don't be down on myself. Sometimes it's a little daunting, and I go through like ups and downs. Emotionally, physically, and mentally. Cause like a couple of months when we was going through stuff, then I was like having a lot of problems with my hips, and I kept saying, "Oh well, you're 64 years old now. Now you just got arthritis in your hips." But when things started turning around, things changed, and I done made certain moves. I ain't said like this in a long time. Cause I'll be like, "Oh my God," when I do it, it just like hurts, or I'm walking bent over. I haven't had this pain in over a week. And I know it was stress related because it was things that I wasn't taking care of. And I was like letting it weigh on me by wearing my heart on my sleeve and just like letting it get to me where like, and you got to do this. You got to handle it. You can't grow if you don't have people in your corner that's not growing with you, just here to be around you. Because there's a lot of people who will literally invite me to their event because of who I am, and they told me that. Like this was an event like last Saturday. They sent, and I was laughing. This cracked me up. They literally sent somebody like this is your assignment. Get her here. We want her at this event. And I was like, this is your assignment. She was like, yes. I said, I'll tell you what. I am very busy, but I'm gonna let them know that you you know how to follow an instruction. I didn't know her. I didn't even know who she was. I didn't know nothing about the organization. Didn't know what they do. All I knew that they was having something on 54th and 11th Avenue, and they sent her to make sure I was there, and I went. And they was like, "You did it! You got her here!" You know, like, lady. And sometimes I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed because I've had people like I'm driving down the street, literally, and sometimes I get a little nervous because I think people are trying to road rage me, but they trying to catch up to me just to say or roll down the way. I love you, Miss Ed.
I mean, you know, that shows that you know your brand is being talked about. No,
Oh, I had a truck driver. I had a truck driver who drove in Orange County, and he went into some parts store delivering some parts, and he said when he walked in, they was like talking about Project 43. And I was like, "What, in Orange County?" He said, "Yeah." And then he was like, "Oh, I was gritted." I was like, "Yeah, I know her personally." You know what I'm saying? And this is the one that I've been most embarrassed about. Most embarrassed. But it's good, but most embarrassed. Right. So it was like kind of in the pandemic, right? So I'm at Staples over here in Inglewood. So the girl, she's like ringing me. I said, "This time, you know, you're wearing your mask, right?" So the girl kept staring at me and staring at me and staring at me. So I said, "Why is this girl staring at me?" So when I walks up and I give my order, and she said, "I knew it was you. I knew it was you. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it." So then she runs from behind the counter. She goes, gets the manager. She's like, "Do you know who this lady is?" She pulls out her phone. "This is her. This is her." And like this, you know, "This is her. I knew it." So the manager's like, "Oh wow." Oh, you know, she looked at the page. So there was a guy standing behind me. And so he said, "Excuse me." He's like, "Are you some kind of celebrity or something?" And I was like, "No." I said, "Well, my name is Miss Ann, and I have a community center on 71st and Crenshaw." So he goes, "You're lying. You're not Miss Ann." I said, "Yeah." He said, "My dad loves you." His dad lived in Texas. He said, "My dad loves you. My dad says this woman is phenomenal." He said, "Do you mind if I call my dad?" I'm like, "Is this man serious?" He said, "Do you mind if I call my dad?" I said, "Okay." So I'm standing there, and so then he says, so he dials the number, and his dad, like, you know, he puts him on the little what's the camera, you know, yeah. So so he goes, "Hey, pops." He says, "Hey, son." He said, "How you doing today?" So I'm good, son. How are you? And he says, "You'll never believe who I'm with." And he's like, "Who are you with, son?" He said, "I'm with Miss Ann." He was like, "Stop. You're lying, son." He's like, "No." He was like, "Stop playing with me, son. You're not with Miss Ann." So he said, "Yes, yes, I am." So he turned the camera like, I was like, "Hi." He was like, "Oh my God, oh my God, I love you. I follow you. I want." He's like, "I wished I was in California. I would be down there helping you. You are amazing." You like, and it was just like, I'm like, this kind of like, is it? It's like embarrassing, but it's not, you know. But it's like lives in Texas. Another one that was big was I was at an event, one of these, you know, invitation only. So the lady said, "Oh, let me come and let me introduce you to Miss Ann." So when I walks up and she said, "Oh, this," she said, "Oh, you ain't got to introduce me to Miss Ann. I've been following her since 2019. She lives in Denmark." And she's like, "Oh my God," you know, little Danish accent. It's like, "I love you. I've been following you. What you do for your community is amazing." And, you know, like that. She lives in Denmark. And I'm like, "Damn, in Denmark?" You know, like, okay. Yeah, so it's like, this is why you got to be careful on what you do, because you never know who's watching or who sees what. Because you wouldn't even think that I would have somebody who was just like come to the States and be like, oh, I already know her. I've been following her since 2019, and she lives in Denmark. And she was all like, you don't have to introduce me, but we just gonna keep on going and just be.
Well, that's cool that you could track and you just yourself. They come to you and you versus you trying to put yourself out there to get that exposure, to get that specification back to you. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then like I say, sometimes it's embarrassing, and but then I'd be like, I'm just ready. But that's the biggest one that the son and the dad, because that was just such an amazing interaction that the son was able to call his dad and literally say, I'm with her, and the son was all like, no, 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 you're not with Miss Ann, like I'm like untouchable. Like, how did you get close enough to be like, to really understand that, this is somebody that lives in Texas that's really, just really, he loves you. You might as well take him home with you. And that really can stand out. It stands out, and it speaks. It speaks that it could be the other way around where they talk about, oh, this is that fake woman, but to understand that someone not even in the state of California understanding that Project 43, that's not even just me. Project 43 as a whole, that's impacting their community. Because I can't take credit for the whole thing, because I'm one person with a team of people behind me, but it's amazing that you got people in other states, and then also where I have a big presence, very big presence, is in the prison system. You know what JPay is?
Jail pay, like where they get their payments and their phone calls and everything. Yeah.
So JPay is like also like a stamp where they can use it, where somebody can pay for, they buy like videos, they can pay for the videos to be sent around, and so they send my videos around, and they will like before it started being free, I always kept money on my phone with the green dots, because they call me and say, oh, if I ever get out, I'm gonna come. And I have a young man that I've been knowing him like all my life, but he just did a 40-year bid, and he just got out 58 days ago. He's gonna tell me when he comes. 58 days, but he always said, when I get out, I'm gonna be up here to help you. His second trip out was here at Project 43.
Random, but have you heard of this nonprofit called The Streets Won't Love You Back?
No.
Okay, that's how I found out about it. I thought that you knew about it, but go on. So, okay.
Yeah, so they called me, and I accept the calls, and they tell me, oh, I love what you're doing. I saw that video, and and so it's the same ones that say, the streets that I once terrorized, when I get out, I'm gonna come and work with you. And my first one, he has, and he even got out, been a mentor, like some of our young people that even didn't even have, because he knows the importance. Like, when you're 16 years old, you can't walk around with out of ID. You've been taking these kids to DMV, making sure they got the ID, especially young boys, to make sure that you're not in these streets getting in trouble. So he's come out being a mentor, but then he also has gotten a job in 58 days of being, in a counseling situation. But we will be still doing, working with him. So he's gonna come through and do some counseling with the kids and say, before the COVID, I had just got all my approval, everything, and it was gonna be in Stockton, California. It was gonna be like a field trip for the kids, and I had got approved for 14 boys. So I had just did my background check. They had just sent my, paperwork to go on to the prison. But I was gonna take like 14 boys at a time, but we was gonna stay in Stockton over the weekend and do the scares straight. But not them hollering all in their face. Not all of that. I didn't want that. But to just let them know, hey man, but then I was dealing with lifers. So they had gave me a list of the lifers, the chaplain, and all that. Then the COVID hit. But I just did everything. Background check, had already figured out how I was gonna get them up there, where it was gonna stay, and that happened. But I didn't want them hollering all in their face and all of that. That was not something that I wanted. Just understand that you don't want to be, because you know what I always say? It's so easy to get in trouble, but it's so hard to get out. Because once a young black man get in the system, it's hard to get out. I look at this man just got released about 2 weeks ago. He did 40 years behind a lie. 40 years behind a lie. And they was just like, it was such a blatant lie that the judge even said, release this man right now. But see, the bad thing about it is it's been like voted out in certain states, like in California, you can get it that for every day you're falsely incarcerated, you get so much, so much money. But then in these other like little rural states, they don't do that because nobody's ever pushed for that, don't have the money to really fight for that. But in the bigger states, they don't want to play that. Like he was like, we ain't gonna like say keep him another month because that's 30 more days of $800 a day that we gotta pay him. So get him out of here. We don't want to pay a dime more.
It ain't our problem no more.
It ain't our problem. But thank you guys so much for this.
Also, like need help with anything that's like for me, I know for sure I want for sure help more with cooking and just being a helpful hand on my part talking to females, but also for the music part and vinyl printing, just pretty much anything you have here. I'm willing to learn like teach, but I know for sure music is my specialty to the point you can put me in the room with some children. I'm for sure.
Oh yeah, well you can talk to Face, yes.
And also she does a lot of other things mostly.
Yeah, I would love for you. I have a lot of art supplies already and everything, so you can just set up a day. Let's make some flyers and then whenever you're ready, just just do it.
I was just gonna ask you, like, how would you feel about like organizing projects that will help like build portfolios for artists, as far as like making flyers for events, putting them out there to the high school so they know about volunteer opportunities, or just like create a merch collection to bring in. Like,
I would love that. Yeah, I would love that. I would love for, and like I said, I created this so you could have like. There's a lot of young people that want to do things, but they don't have a venue. They don't have a space. So I created this to be, like I said, workforce development or whatever. It's just that I don't like it when people come to me not serious. When this is serious here, you got the space. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. I be wanting to take something. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. It's here. Take advantage of it.
Once things pop off, then what?
But see, that's the thing. I've had that now because a lot of people have set back just to see where it's going. But now that they see, and you might as well say 90% of the work, now they want to come in and do it. But see, like all money ain't good money, or all like, where was you when I really needed you? Again, going back to my funeral analogy. I didn't need you. I needed you then, and I need you in between. But I really don't need you now because I'm to where I want to halfway be. But then you want to come in and put in the work after all the grunt. I say the grunt work is done. So now that we got it fine tuned, I need people to come in and book these things. Like, look, you know how many little kids would be so happy to be sitting in this area over here painting and doing all that? They would just be so happy. They wouldn't be like, oh, it's hot. It's very comfortable here. All we got to do is basically to get some ventilation, just get a nice fan and put up under here. This nice. That's why I don't be in my office no more. That's why that table's sitting there. That people that messed up my workspace. But I'm out here because right now, see, that well, it was there. The Wi-Fi was over there. Yeah, yeah. I got some petty shit going on, but it was there. I hope this car is who I think it is.
Yeah, like, did you want to say, like, what's the best place to reach you, where to contact you, the events, and the Instagram?
Oh, the best number to reach me is 323 522 8163. My email address is project43la at uh, at gmail.com.
Instagram, same thing, Project43.
Uh, the, oh no, that's project43. That's my Gmail. My email address is project43 la at .org.
Okay.
But I appreciate you guys today.
Appreciate
And
you.
so let's let's get some dates together and let's do it like I said.